Hello everyone. In this video I am going to tell Bhagavad Gita shlokas 5.27 and 28. In the previous shloka, the Lord explained that those who are free from anger and all material desires and who are self-realized, self-disciplined and also constantly endeavoring for perfection are assured of liberation in the Supreme in the very near future. Let us begin with these shlokas. Sparshan krutva bahirbahyams chakshushchaivantare bruvoh pranapanau samau krutva nasabhyantaracharinav yatendriyamanubuddir munir mokshaparayanah vigateच्छाभयक्रोधो यः सदा मुक्त एव सः. The meaning: sparshan, sense objects such as sound, krutva, hearing, bahi, external, bahyan, unnecessary, chakshu, eyes, cha, also, eva, certainly, antare, between, bruoho, the eyebrows, pradapado, up and down moving air, samau, in suspension, krutva, keeping, nasabhyantara, within the nostrils, charino, blowing, yata, controlled, indriya, senses, mana, mind, buddhi, intelligence, muni, the transcendentalist, moksha, for liberation, parayanah, being so destined, vigata, having discarded, ichcha, wishes, bhaya, fear, krodha, anger, yaha, one who, sada, always, muktaha, liberated, eva, certainly, saha, he is. The entire meaning is shutting out all external sense objects, keeping the eyes and vision concentrated between the two eyebrows, suspending the inward and outward breaths within the nostrils, and thus controlling the mind, senses, and intelligence. The transcendentalist, aiming at liberation, becomes free from desire, fear, and anger. One who is always in this state is certainly liberated. In this shloka, the Lord is explaining a little bit of yoga, which will be explained in depth in the next chapter. Being engaged in Krishna consciousness, one can immediately understand one's spiritual identity, and then one can understand the Supreme Lord by means of devotional service. When one is well situated in devotional service, one comes to the transcendental position, qualified to feel the presence of the Lord in the sphere of one's activity. This position is called liberation in the Supreme. After explaining the above principles of liberation at the Supreme, the Lord now gives instruction to Arjuna as to how one can come to that position by practice of mysticism or the yoga known as Ashtanga Yoga, which is divisible into 8 parts called Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. In the 6th chapter, the subject of yoga is explicitly detailed, and at the end of the 5th, it is only preliminarily explained. One has to drive out the sense objects such as sound, touch, form, sense, taste, and smell by the Pratyahara process in yoga, and then keep the vision of the eyes between the two eyebrows and concentrate on the tip of the nose with half closed lids. There is no benefit in closing all the eyes altogether, because if we close our eyes altogether, we will fall asleep. Nor is there benefit in opening the eyes completely, because then there is the hazard of being attracted by sense objects. The breathing movement is restrained within the nostrils by neutralizing the up and down moving air within the body. By practice of such yoga, one is able to gain control over the senses, refrain from outward sense objects, and thus prepare oneself for liberation in the Supreme. This kind of yoga process helps one to become free from all the kinds of fear and anger, and also feel the presence of the super soul in the transcendental situation. In other words, Krishna consciousness is the easiest process of executing yoga principles. This will be thoroughly explained in the next chapter. A Krishna conscious person, however, being always engaged in devotional service, does not risk losing his senses to some other engagement. So, in conclusion, Krishna consciousness is a better way of controlling the senses than by Ashtanga Yoga. Thank you for watching, and I will tell the final shloka of this chapter in the next video.